Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I think this is the first time we've started an episode without you being like, what, we're recording?
I was literally about to say something, but I restrained myself.
Well, what were you going to say?
I was like, seriously?
I'm just going to...
Okay. Yeah.
Scoot your turn! The door's closed, right?
Yeah. What did you just say?
Scoot your turn!
Oh.
What do you think I said?
I could not translate what you just said. Into
Translate? Oh, it's a translation now, huh?
Yeah.
Wow,
Sometimes
thanks.
you say things and they're not English.
Wow. All right. See how it is. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you're speaking into the microphone.
I'm speaking into the microphone. Jeez.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure you're being picked up. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
episode 30.
Oh, wow.
This is kind of crazy. We've hit the 30s now.
I could have sworn we've done more.
Yeah,
Like,
it does
it's
feel
only
like
30.
torture.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, it should have been more, but we took a 5-month-long break over the summer,
Okay.
which, you know.
That was needed. That was needed.
We'll be
me.
taking a long break only for summer.
Mhm.
We'll just be recording year-round. That's the new layout, hopefully. We've talked about this many a times.
I don't think we have.
We literally started the season saying that. And you're like, oh, we didn't talk about that. I was like, yes, we did, Cass.
I don't think we did.
And now you're not remembering it. So that just proves my point even more. But anyways, yeah, we didn't talk about it, guys, but we're just going to announce it anyways. Regardless, today we're talking about humanity peaking. Has humanity peaked?
Another very deep, very
Theoretical here.
philosophical.
Don't take
discussion.
everything we say with a massive chunk of salt.
That should go without saying.
That's
for
with
any of
anything we talk about. Do your own research, please.
Yikes!
We are not a news source, okay?
No, we're just giving our opinions on things.
Yeah, most
And
most
this topic
things are.
isn't like factual.
No,
Like,
there's nothing
No
factual
one's done
about this.
research on whether humanity is peaked or not.
Yeah, we might refer to things, but come on.
I have nothing to
Calm
refer
down.
to, but he might.
Anyways, to be more specific, we're talking about things that humanity has done in the past, and we're seeing if has anything that substantial happened recently. Like, for example, electricity. That was
Also, we're talking
huge.
technology now.
Well, anything peaking.
Well, how would you define how humanity has peaked? Like, in what aspect? Technologically.
Technologically, you could
I cannot think of a better word, but like goodness.
goodness.
Well, you know, like overall empathy
Like
and
purity?
compassion. Like, I don't know. I forget if we were having this conversation, but like I feel like I've had a conversation with someone where it's like everyone's just so mean nowadays.
Our mom actually brought that up earlier.
Maybe that was.
My guttural response was, "Mom, that is such a Gen X/Boomer thing to say."
But like she explained, like not in the sense that kids these days suck. It's more of everyone in general has just gotten so short tempered, and so like I don't know.
I
Maybe
think
it's just me
part of it is how demanding we are, and actually,
as humanity.
yeah,
as
like
human
how
beings,
busy we've made ourselves.
in terms of all of us as a whole, or just as
Yeah.
as one gets older.
Our schedules are just packed every day, especially in like the work life. Once you hit like your mid-20s, you actually start working for a living. Like you're done with school, you're just doing your job at that point.
Hmm.
You're so busy. Most people work a 9 to 5. They
Uh-huh.
go home and they eat dinner with their fam, and they go to bed,
With
and
their
then
bros.
wake up and do the same exact thing every day.
Yeah.
There's no wiggle room.
Yeah.
We're
So
busy.
you think because of that, people have gotten short-tempered?
I think that applies
Slightly.
mainly to the city. It's like the hustle and bustle of the city. Like you've heard that.
Yeah.
Like nobody's polite in the city.
I'm polite.
Well, Cass, you're just an exception. Okay,
Well,
listen.
that's not true. I've met nice people.
In the city, you just have to keep walking and just not look back.
But
Essentially,
does that apply to everyone, though?
most people, yeah, most people that go to the city
Well,
often
I'm not
enough.
just talking about the city, like in general in the world. You think people have gotten like so self-absorbed?
I don't know. I haven't.
Or has this just always been like this and we've just taken notice now for whatever reason?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I've only grown up in Massachusetts, a state where we
aware.
are often referred to as massholes.
I
So, I don't know, Cass.
well, I don't know.
Because
This,
I've heard if you go down south, it's like the nicest place ever.
really?
like, Middle part of America, like that middle strip, I hear
The
is just
belt?
yeah, that the American belt.
I don't know.
right where Tennessee is. That's that belt. I don't know. There's like a cliche. I think pretty sure that like up north we're all just jerks, and we just want to work, and that's it. We don't care about anybody else.
That like the whole workaholic
Yeah.
lifestyle. Like you talk to people and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm so busy. Like you won't believe how busy I am. You'd be like, yeah, I'm busy too. She's like,
But
oh,
not
no, but you
looking
don't
for
understand.
attention. Just
Well, no, I think it's part of
to refer back to last week's episode. If you haven't listened to that, that is a slapper. Go listen to it.
slapper.
It's a slapper.
But like
for
I feel
sure.
it's like it's always a competition to see how stressed out you are with everyone.
Now we're just going way back to like last week.
No. In relation to how people treat each other. And I guess what we've been saying, like
It's like, yeah, I've been
the whole workaholic culture we were just talking
I
about.
worked a 6-day work week. I only took the 7th
no,
day
I
off
think
because it was Sunday.
Well, we put more emphasis on
Holy
how
day.
much you're stressed out and how much you're busy, and more over like our own like well-being,
Sanity.
sanity. Yeah, has that always been a thing, or has it just been recently, and what could have caused it? I feel like I've said this before, like 5 minutes ago.
I feel like that's always been a thing, and we're only
Yeah.
just realizing it now because of social media and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
Twitter, especially.
Yeah, and I think the whole social media thing, exacerbating like the not so good side of the world. I think that's definitely played a
That would
part in
be
it.
that would be the media.
Hmm.
You're thinking media, not
No,
social media.
Well, social
Well,
media.
actually, both. Actually, no, you're
Well,
right.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you just said that.
Why?
I feel like you're the type that's like, oh, social media. That what they're saying is really extreme, but it's true.
In what context? What's
A good example. I think we talked about this already,
Okay.
but that picture of like the Earth, and it was Earth now and Earth 50 years from
Oh
now.
yeah.
We talked about this. It
We
was Earth in 2019 and Earth in 2050. It was like the two pictures, in Earth in 2019 was like looking nice, and then 2050 it was like dead. And we talked about how it was not true, or it's not going to be like that.
Well, we
that
don't
is an
know if it
example of
is
what you're
because
talking
we are
about.
not scientists, but go ahead.
No, it's not. Anyways, we're not going to jump into that
We're
because
not.
we've already talked about it. But that is an example of what I think you're talking about. How social media likes to just hop on the bandwagon of we're all going to die, we're all going to die.
Well, I mean, I think that's just kind of human nature.
No. No,
Social
some people.
media exacerbates that because it gives voice to those types of people.
Yeah,
And since we're so interconnected because of social media, it's easy for those things to get picked up.
well, it gives.
But that goes the same way for like happy things.
it-
you know?
No.
Yes.
No, people that
goes
talk
both
about happy
ways.
things are not heard
Yes, they
because
are.
happy things don't get traction.
Jeez.
Most people are selfish on social media. They just want clicks. They want like, you know those stupid, what's it called? Those people put on this. It was like back in the summer. People were putting on their stories. It was like they would message a big company. Like, one I remember seeing was some dude apparently messaged Apple saying, start including AirPods in iPhone boxes, and Apple supposedly responded with, if this gets 1 million likes. Only if this gets 1 million
What
likes.
does that have to do with anything?
That's 100% fake. But that's what I'm saying. People that just want attention will do anything for attention.
Well, again, that's part of human nature.
Right,
for
but
wanting
not
attention. And
everybody
I'm just
just
saying
wants-
that social media
I know.
brings it more to light.
But tying back to what you were saying about people that just like to exasperate, Not-
Exacerbate.
not as what?
What? What are you trying to say?
People that try to exasperate.
Go ahead. I don't think. Continue.
Cass, get your head out of the gutter, man. Oh, never mind. Anyways, like I was saying, it gives, like you were saying, it gives voice to people that like to exasperate dire situations. So yeah, in that sense, yeah, people will just look for attention. And they love just hopping on that bandwagon of, oh, we're all going to die. I mean, yeah, we're all going to die at some point.
I was about to say, yeah, duh.
Well, duh. But like in the most inhumane way possible. And it's all because of us. It's all our fault. Where did that come from? I want to tie it back
Dude,
to something.
I don't know. I forget. I can't remember.
Anyways, has humanity peaked?
Well, I don't know how to just. How could we measure that? I think it's just because we think
Like-
everything sucks right now, which it kind of does, but like, it always kind of sucked.
Are you talking
Just
about
in general,
what are you
the
talking
world.
about?
Well, like in terms of like environmentally and politically, those are my two like the main things that I think of.
Well, it sucks now, especially with the Australia thing,
Mm-hmm.
the wildfires.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, what is the count up to now? They're still going, obviously, but
Yeah.
I actually read an article the other day saying it was the smoke that was produced by the fires is going to circle over the entire Earth.
Wow.
Like you will see all that smoke from Australia.
How did the fire start?
That's a good question. I wanted to figure that out. I'm gonna look this up right now because
Okay.
this actually.
I don't know. I've always just been wondering that and forgetting that I've wondered it. So I haven't looked at it.
How did the California one start?
I don't know.
I thought it was some weirdos that just were trying to burn down trees just to, get rid of trees in a fast way, but it just kind of got out of hand. Okay, so the fire started in various ways, some by lightning, some by human actions, including arsony. So, okay, why is this a climate change thing then? Okay, so they're just saying climate conditions cause the fires to spread, which...
Well, like the dry heat, I guess.
I mean, sure. But that's interesting. Gonna occur year round. So they happen all the time, apparently. Oh. There's a combination of the heat and the winds, which makes a little more sense.
Oh.
So the fact that the fires happen every year, guys. Wildfires just happen, by the way. Newsflash.
I know, but it's gotten worse because
These ones were bad because it was particularly windy.
Mm-hmm.
Just leave it at that. I think the count's up to like 16 million. No, was it billion?
What?
Square acres.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the animals.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it was something like that. But yeah, it's gotten 17.9 million acres.
Wow.
To
crazy.
give some perspective, I think the California wildfires only burned about 3 million acres, which is,
Only.
well, in comparison, which is kind of scary. Anyways, that's enough of that talk. But has...
I don't know. What are your thoughts?
On
Circling
what?
back.
The-
Has
the world peaking?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still holding on to like some idea that someone's going to come up like with something substantial. Something in the tech field's going to change the way
Well,
tech is made.
I'm sure that's gonna happen.
Yeah, but like it's going to happen, right?
Mhm.
So in a way we haven't peaked. We peaked at some point in terms of in looking at right now. We've already peaked if we're looking at in the past. But I think in the future we're going to peak again. You know what I'm saying?
Can you explain yourself? Because
So,
I
like,
think I get it.
The big thing I'm talking about is the smartphone thing. Like that changed everything.
But you could say the same thing about like electricity.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So it's been like it's been a growth. And
So
now
you don't
people are
think
like,
it's just boom, boom.
No, it's not.
You think it's gradual? Like,
Yeah.
it goes up. And,
And
then
the
like,
idea is, have we
plateaus and goes up
hit like
again?
our maximum growth? Are we starting to just kind of plateau?
Well, how
in a
how can
sense?
we know that?
We don't, but this is where our opinions come in. Are we starting to plateau? People are like, oh, there's nothing innovational about smartphones. What can you improve in a smartphone at this point?
Well, they're very small improvements in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
So I guess in that way,
Which,
plateauing.
yeah, the thing, like to look at I've like phone processors. I said that completely wrong. Like the Snapdragon series, just pretty much all Android processors.
Mhm.
They've increased drastically in the past 5 years. I think it started with the Snapdragon. I don't know what it started with, but people are like, oh, the original smartphone changed everything. I don't know which smartphone was first. I don't think it was Apple's. But anyways, they're like, oh, it changed the game, and then it got substantially faster. But people are like, oh, it just looks the same. People are conflating, oh, it looking the same with, oh, nothing's happened. They've just gotten thinner and they look nicer. The screens look a bit better. Yeah, that's a small improvement, but look at the other side. Internally, like the phone that's recording this right now has 3 cameras, which you would say, oh, that's nothing. Think about it. The first smartphone had 1 camera. Look at that. It had 2 megapixel camera shots, which was terrible. People were like, oh, it's a game changer. And then it went to 4. And then it went to 8. And it stayed at 8 for a while. And then hit 12, which is what we're at right now. And then they're like, oh, let's add multiple cameras so we can do, deep fusion, which is when all 3 cameras take the same photo and you stitch together the details. Photos look insane now. They're actually coming to the point where people are like, are they going to replace DSLR cameras? Long story short, smartphones have started replacing everything. When they were first introduced, it replaced your calendar, it replaced your map. You didn't need a map anymore. It replaced your notepad. It replaced books. It replaced, a computer for games. Now you can game on the go. And now it's starting to replace things like professional cameras. The photo quality on smartphones nowadays, like the Samsung Galaxy S10, what is it? I forget what the name is called. The top line Samsung phone. And the Huawei Mate 7 Pro. Smartphone camera quality has gotten insane. In that aspect, I don't think it's peaked yet. Once it replaces professional cameras, I think that's when it's going to peak.
But do you think innovation has slowed down in terms of our history,
No.
technology-wise? Because, we made some big, jumps. If we even think about, the Industrial Revolution, the amount of change that was going on, drastic, humongous in comparison to now, I feel. Because
You think that was a bigger
little
change?
adjustments to, the smartphones are already, very big parts of our lives.
I guess it
And I
depends
don't
on
think
how
it's
you
going
look
to
at it.
change. And it's already changed our lives, and it's probably not going to change it much more. It already made that impact.
No.
Hmm?
There's actually a rumor, if you're into data mining, not data mining, it's not data mining, but looking into leaks on certain things, as am I, you've probably noticed smart glasses, AR glasses. Have you heard of Google Glass?
Yes.
They're basically these glasses that tried to have an interface on the lens, and it didn't really work out. Companies are supposedly working on them, and they're rumored to be a smartphone replacement. Think about it. In 10 years, you could just be walking around with glasses as your smartphone. Is that not crazy to you?
That is crazy.
Imagine how much
but is
that would
that
change.
necessary?
No, but why would it be bad?
Why are we making change that isn't necessary then?
Well, it's still a physical object that you have to carry around. People are like, oh, the classic boomer argument, like, oh, they're always looking at their phones walking around. They'll trip over things. Now you have no reason to trip. You're just looking straight ahead at a little interface. It doesn't block your peripherals.
But still, back to my question, why are we making these things if it doesn't really matter?
It does matter.
We already have all the stuff that's going to be supposedly in those glasses.
No.
If you
AR,
you literally just said the
No.
smartphone will be in the glasses.
Okay, it's going. No, I said it's going to replace smartphones. Imagine, and to make it a simple comparison, imagine having your smartphone in your glasses. It's not as simple as that. You're going to have AR capabilities. So now maps will project onto the road, and you can see take a right turn here, and it'll show. Sounds crazy, and it sounded. I've always thought, oh, that's stupid. There have been startups that have tried to do that, and it doesn't work. Kickstarter, that's the epitome of failures. But there have been companies that have tried that and it didn't work. And in 10 years, it could actually happen because of technology, how far it's come. People are making 5-nanometer chips the size of your pinky nail. Think about it. We are recording a podcast on a slab of metal, essentially. 20 years ago, you had to have a giant computer to do that. That would sit in the room, probably underneath the table. Radio, that's changed completely. Radio is...
Yeah, but it seems like we're just making modifications to things that were already there. We're not making anything new.
Well, yeah, we are. It's both.
Like what? What's new? What's completely new?
Podcasting, just to make a relevant example, podcasting is now a popular thing. There are so many people that do it now because you can. You can literally record. You could just have your phone and that would record it. You can record a podcast on your phone and upload it to the internet.
I'm aware.
10 years ago, you couldn't do that.
Okay, so just in
You
terms
had
of
you had to have
accessibility then?
a record, not a record deal. We had to have a licensing thing, and you'd have to go through a company that would do it for you, or you'd have to pay a giant subscription to have a company do it for you, or to get the rights to do it. Now you can just do it from your phone and upload it. Sure, it's a small change using stuff that's already existed.
That's my point, though.
But it's still innovation.
In terms of
it's still innovation.
Our overall thing about humanity and its progression and its the innovations that have happened.
Okay, technology
it's gotten
isn't going
smaller. Is there going to be a point where we can't make anything new? Do you think? Because it seems like at this point we're already there because we're just adjusting things that already exist, or creating them on new interfaces.
No, it's not. It's never going to end. People are never going to stop making things. I know that sounds really cliche. I know you're cringing out there, but that's real. Like people just have an idea and they go to town. That's what companies like websites called Indiegogo or Kickstarter.
So as long as we have that type of human nature, you don't think we'll ever peak? Because there's always going to be
in terms of innovation, no.
Okay.
Like cars, even self-driving cars. Those are starting just now to become a thing. Mainly highways and small streets.
I don't know if I trust that.
Well, you've never been in a smart car. I've never been in a smart car either, but it's kind of crazy. Now, you still have to have some human input. You still have to have your hands on the wheels. You have to be still looking at the road. But, they do lane changes for you. They follow a map. You're out. When you put in your maps, hey, I want to go to this place, and it has, that blue line. The car literally follows that blue line.
That's weird.
And actually, a big Tesla update recently came out where they've started sensing stop signs. So they stop at the stop sign. They see the stop sign and they stop at the white line or stop parallel to the stop sign. Can't wait for lights to become a thing. They stop at stoplights.
Oh.
Because right now you have to actually brake.
Which makes sense.
They don't detect the lights yet because it's not consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Stop signs are fairly consistent. They're usually on the right side of the road, facing towards you. Stop lights or lights can be up top, or they could be on the sides. They could be multiple intersections. So the one that you could possibly see is actually for the lane diagonal to you. You know what I'm saying? Like a 5-way intersection.
Mm-hmm.
It's confusing for a car, but for a human, it's easy because it's just common sense. You have the common sense to think about, oh, hey, this is my light because it's in line with me. But I think cars are going to get there at some point. So in that case, innovation isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, just
now, is it plateauing?
The scale?
Someone can make the argument, hardware-wise, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But it's still going to continue.
It's not going to stop.
Is what you're arguing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We will live to probably see self-driving cars.
Ugh.
Completely autonomous self-driving cars.
Wow.
Yeah. Any input from you? Do you have any thoughts on it?
On self-driving cars?
Or just innovation in any level?
I don't know. I was just originally thinking it seems like at some point in our history, there's just like this fast like increase in all the innovations that we were creating.
Well, yeah, because it was. Sorry, I'll let you go.
Because like I don't know, just the major inventions that were happening so quickly and how it was impacting our lives so much. But now we're at a point where the technology and like the innovations that are happening are with, as you said, like, oh, the stuff like in our phones, like making what we already have better and more efficient. There's like, that's what I was saying. There's not like, I couldn't really think of, and I don't really keep up with tech, but I couldn't really think of like any like major invention that's changed the course of our lives that have been invented in the past couple of years, other than the smartphone.
So I'm not really sure where I'm going to go with this, but
Okay.
it wasn't an invention, it was a discovery. Electricity was discovered, and we learned
Well, like
how
the
to...
light bulb was an invention.
Well, yeah, but it was using electricity. Electricity was the big thing. Oh, we can harness electricity and use it to power certain things like this light bulb. Now we have lighting. That was a huge discovery and a huge invention, I guess you could argue. Because now, hey, you can see without daylight. Back in like the, what was it, 1700s?
It was 1800s.
What?
Was it the 1800s?
Was it the 1870s?
I don't know.
But stuff like that, yeah, it was a big deal because, oh, it now changes your certain... 1878, yeah. It changes your aspect of your life. Oh, now my day-to-day life is vastly different. Half of my day I can now see in the dark. I no longer need to have the sun out to do things, to be productive. The automobile, when that was invented, that was huge because now people can go places without having to walk or take a horse or something. Back in the, what was it, late 1910s? 20s? I forget when Ford made the first car. I think it was like 1918 or something. But stuff like that has changed day-to-day life. And sure, you could say, oh, the next iPhone isn't changing much.
Yeah, it's not life-changing.
But it's changing the phone.
But not us.
Drastically.
It's not having a huge
But it's not having a huge impact on you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still Face ID. It still has cameras. It still looks the same. But on the inside, it makes a difference. It's so much more capable now. The processor, like the processor in my phone right now, is 40% faster than the processor in the last phone. Doesn't sound like a lot, and honestly, it's not much. But it's big enough to warrant a new device. Maybe that's just Apple trying to pump out new devices to get big business revenue.
Which it
Sure.
is, yeah.
Sure, yeah. But at some point, I think we're going to jump into the smart glasses or wearables, stuff like that. Human tech.
Do you think we should stop focusing on smartphones and like continuously trying to make them better and focus on more life-changing technology?
What do you mean?
Because I feel like we've exhausted this path enough. It's like it always seems like we're just making it smaller, faster, whatever. But like, shouldn't there be more innovations in terms of like, I don't know, tech to help with medical stuff?
Like medical tech?
Yeah. Shouldn't there be more of a focus on that would actually have a larger impact and one would argue more significant impact on us?
One thing that jumps to mind is prosthetics. Prosthetics, sorry. I'm always bad at pronouncing that stuff. Shut up. But like, I think we already talked about this. We already talked about prosthetics.
Did we?
Yeah. But to recap, right now it's just like a hand opening and closing. At some point,
we talked about like the Junior.
The
YouTube thing.
The YouTube series
on AI.
Yeah. That's where.
So shouldn't there be more efforts towards that type of thing?
There is.
Shouldn't be there.
There's just
more?
There's just nothing yet. Like it hasn't been done yet. People are working on it, but once it's made, yeah, it's gonna be a huge thing.
Okay.
But smartphones are happening now because the companies are so big. One thing I wrote down just now was space travel.
Ooh.
That's already happening, boys. It's already Elon Musk actually came out a while ago saying, "Yo, we're gonna have space travel by 2024."
That's weird.
Think about in the next 20 years. there could be stuff built on the moon. There could be hotels on the moon.
I don't like
Will it
that.
be cheap? Probably not.
Definitely
But will it
not.
be crazy cool? Yeah. Because now we can disprove all those flat earthers. Oh,
yeah, that's the
no.
thing. That's the one.
That's why
benefit.
we're doing this, guys. We want to prove that the earth is round so you can see it with your own eyes.
I don't know.
Um,
I guess yeah. I did.
yeah.
Hmm.
What have there been, like 70 people that have been to space?
Dude, I don't know.
Now there could be
Definitely more.
millions of people that can go to space.
I don't know. Would
There
you
you
ever
go.
want to go to space? This is completely off topic.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You could experience weightlessness in the vacuum
Oh.
of space.
The endless vacuum of space.
Yes. The ever expanding vacuum of space.
I'd be terrified though. Just being like a tiny little speck floating around.
Well, you'd be attached to your
Still
your
floating
ship.
around.
Yeah, you're technically still floating. I mean, technically, we're floating around.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Everything's
Just, I
floating
guess
around.
just seeing it. Because, like, we know that we're like a tiny little speck in like the universe. But I guess just getting a
Yeah.
different perspective on all of it would be a little mind blowing.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, there's really no way you could actually conceptualize the vastness of space.
Mm. Yeah.
Like, you think your galaxy is big, bro? You think Pluto's far away? That's just in our galaxy. There's hundreds of thousands of galaxies
Mm-hmm.
in the universe, and there's definitely more. It's just expanding. Kind of wacky.
Yeah.
Kind of wacky. But yeah, space travel will be a thing
Yeah.
for sure. We'll see that. We'll probably go to space in our lifetime. Isn't that scary? We'll probably be going to space.
That doesn't seem real.
Oh,
I don't think.
You
I
better
don't think we
believe it.
will.
oh yeah. Oh, it's happening.
Mm.
Mark it down in your calendars.
Mark my
The
words.
2040s. That's when we're all just going to go to space and live there.
Ooh.
But we'll probably just be feeding off of Earth's resources. I don't think we'll be like doing anything. Has
No.
water been discovered on the moon yet?
I don't think. So.
I've been watching too much of the For All Mankind show on Apple TV Plus.
Hashtag not spawn.
They're not sponsored. Okay, so there's liquid.
But is it water?
Yeah, it's water, but it's mainly vapor.
Mm.
But it can't really stay. It has to be a really cold part of the moon. Because if it's not too cold, it just evaporates and then gets eaten up by space.
By the space.
I think Mars is the one that
Yeah,
we're
that's what-
looking for because that would be huge. And I think it actually has, yeah, it's ice. So that'd be cool. Imagine bringing just giant amounts of water to Mars and then just living there. I don't think it's sustainable, but you could build your own, like, greenhouse. You know what I'm saying? Just make a giant dome and just live in there. That'd
That's
be
just
sick.
way too sci-fi for me.
That'd be sick. That'd be
Ugh.
really dope. That'd be clean. I'd love that.
Just
But
chilling on Mars.
that's assuming it's sustainable, which it's not. But that'd be really cool, I think. But that's just so hypothetical that it's just probably not going to happen in our lifetime.
Yeah, no.
We'll probably die before we see that. Sad thought. But I don't
Oh,
know.
well.
I don't know. Tech is evolving fast,
Yes.
very fast.
So back to our overall overarching question.
Has humanity peaked? In what other ways can we peak besides technologically?
And innovation-wise.
Given that it's the biggest way you can peak, what other ways can we peak?
I don't know. Well, I guess not. I guess this kind of relates, but it's not really a whole peaking thing. But like going back to the whole "everyone used to be nice" thing.
Oh,
Well,
in terms of human
I
interactions, are you
just-
talking about?
yeah, but I think just everyone used to be more innocent until media and interconnectivity brought to light more like terrible
Oh,
stories.
no.
Because like I feel like back in the day, like people used to
No.
like hitchhike and like be
Oh
like,
no!
yeah, I'll get in this random person's car, and then they get murdered. But then again, that's just Uber. So have we ever Because I feel like everyone used to be more chill.
Are you
Maybe
okay?
that's just my misconception.
There have always been just rude people, Cass.
Yeah.
Just to
and-
clear that up
I know.
real quick.
I know. I'm
There,
aware.
it hasn't. It the only way it's changed in terms of today is with the inclusion of smartphones. So now you're just instead of like think about it. A common example on the train, everybody's on their phones on the train. 30 years ago, you didn't have that. 20 years ago.
Well, yeah. Then
didn't
you had
have
like
that.
the newspapers and like
Yeah.
books.
So it hasn't really changed. It's just the things that we do.
So basically, what we're discovering through this conversation,
Humans are always going to be human. I don't think.
yeah, but it's just the technology and like the innovations that happen or like we cause to happen
I don't
that
think
changes.
that. I think you're reading a bit too far into it.
I don't think I am.
I don't think tech is having that much of a as big. I don't think it's having an impact on social interactions,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it's having as big of an impact as you think it is.
That's just what I'm saying. It's having an impact on our.
Yeah, but it's
social
not.
interaction.
It's not like we're not.
It's not-
We're not exactly this. We're not the same. It was different. Yeah, well, everything's different.
Well,
yes,
yeah.
today was different from yesterday. All right.
I'm aware. I'm just saying technology has an impact.
Yeah, but obviously,
Okay, then we agree.
no,
So you don't think that technology?
no. I'm saying
Mm-hmm.
humans 30 years ago weren't terribly different from humans today, other than the fact that we have different things, physical things. Like I have a different computer than people 30 years ago. The personal computer was actually just starting to be a thing 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But humans haven't really changed. There have always been rude people. There's always been weirdos. There's always been murderers. There's always been, I was gonna say terrorists, but that's actually increased. But there's always been evil people, I guess, is the
Has
the broader
terrorism
point.
increased?
Yeah,
Well, then there we go.
but it's not. There's always been bad people.
Yeah, I know.
There's just always been bad people.
I'm aware.
So there you go. In my opinion,
You're just like,
I think
"That's
I
my
wasn't around,
point."
so I can't confirm or deny. But
I was not alive.
technologically, I was gonna say like in terms of the arts,
Creativity.
but
wise?
like more of Hollywood movies.
Oh, because like yeah, I guess classic films are very
Acting.
different to films that are coming out today.
Yeah, because you didn't have CGI.
Yeah.
So you had to either make the props, like in Jurassic Park, or you just had to act. Now you have CGI.
Who said that thing? There's like a famous director who like trashed on movies today, saying like they're all like action superhero films that aren't true cinema. Who said that? Keep talking while I look this up.
I am not friends with whoever said that.
It was like a really
'Cause
famous,
whoever's-
well-respected filmmaker. What's his name?
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like something that a fan, like a class, like a black and white movie fanboy comes up with. Like, oh, I remember when movies were black and white. You know? And then now they're all colored. It's changed. I think he means more in terms of acting. More than anything. And I think he's missing the point. I think he's looking at Disney. Just looking at Disney. Being like, oh, they're just a bit too successful.
How do you say his last name?
Martin Scurese?
That's not it.
Wait. You gave me a quick glance. Or Scorsese. How do you pronounce that? Scorsese? So superhero movies are not. Oh no, he's just talking specifically about superhero movies not being cinema.
Well, didn't I literally just say that?
No, well, I mean, I must have just misinterpreted then. I assumed. I thought you said movies in general are becoming too superhero-y and too, CGI based and are not true cinema, which is a valid argument. I just fundamentally disagree with it
How can we disagree?
because there's still actors involved.
So you think as
The
long
whole-
as there are actors involved, it is peak cinema.
There's still
it's
acting.
like pure artistic.
Robert Downey Jr.
What a
perfect
What a
fit
dude.
for Iron Man. But think about that. This man's hating on superhero movies, and here we have possibly the best superhero character ever portrayed by an actor. Would you not agree?
Yeah.
Like, hands down. Follow up would be, the Batman, Dark Knight Rises, or the Dark Knight series, I guess you could say, but
I liked Christian Bale.
just the Dark Knight, the two movies,
What about them?
how they were cinematically perfect. Some people swear by the Dark Knight being the perfect movie. Some people just wholeheartedly believe that movie was the perfect movie of all time. That's just the best movie. Some people just think the Christopher Nolan Batman movies were perfect.
I like
'Cause the Joker, Heath Ledger's Joker,
Yeah.
honestly, really good character. You could say follow up to Iron Man, but I think Tony Stark was perfectly portrayed by Robert Downey Jr.
I don't think anyone would disagree with that.
But that just it doesn't make sense to me why he would say it's not true cinema. What's true cinema then? If that's not true cinema,
I don't know what his argument is.
I'm trying to think of what he means by that, and I think he's trying to say that acting in general has changed.
Okay, this is like the line by him. Cinema is an art form that brings you the unexpected. In superhero movies, nothing is at risk, a director says.
Nothing is at risk. Does he
That's just like
elaborate
the
on that?
main. That's like his title.
That's a good. Who is? I don't even know who this fool is.
You do.
Do I?
Yes,
I don't think I do.
he's very well known and well respected.
Well, clearly not well known enough. Guys, comment down below if you know who this. What's his name?
I don't.
Sclerosis. I don't know his name. I'm not trying to offend you, Sclerosis. I just have no idea who you are. As if he's listening. Yeah, I just I don't. Maybe I'm just not.
Okay, what I think he had a problem with was that Marvel films and like superhero films got more attention, or like more, because when like movie theaters they have only certain slots for like a certain amount of movies or whatever. No, let me finish. I'm getting to a point.
I think I already know what your point is.
He thinks that superhero movies are taking more time and more attention away from like more riskier, more daring films by other filmmakers.
Oh no!
That's his point. And like more
no!
artistic.
So this fool just hates Disney, essentially.
He didn't say that.
No, he just hates capitalism.
Dear Lord. It's not that funny. Why are you like cracking up?
Yo, bro, screw capitalism, man. This guy's just really jealous. He made a movie. He probably made a movie like 15 years ago, and it was just
No, he's like a very
What are some of his films?
Okay,
What are his films?
hold on.
What was that movie? It was called A Quiet Place. Is that what it was called? It was the one where like
John Krasinski.
that was a good movie. Yeah, that was good. That was daring, low budget, unlike any film we've ever seen.
The Irishman, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver, Wolf of Wall Street, Casino.
And the rest are going to be irrelevant. What was the top three?
The Irishman, Goodfellas, Taxi Driver,
Okay.
The Departed, Wolf of Wall Street, Raging Bull, Shutter Island.
None of his. none of
These
those
are like
movies.
regarded as like classics.
Yeah, they're good. They're really good movies,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not daring. You're not risking
Yes,
anything.
they are.
They're not.
For their time, yes, they are.
No.
Yes.
No.
Mm-hmm.
This man's just jealous that superhero movies are a thing.
But I think he does have a good point. Did I talk about the whole thing with, was this with you? I was talking about Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson, like Vanity Fair's actors on actors.
I don't think we've talked about this.
Who did I talk about this with then?
Someone else, but talk about it.
Okay. Well, they were just saying how, what he was saying, like, there tends to be more attention and, I don't know. I guess attention on superhero films and typical like blockbusters, where they kind of take those opportunities away from young aspiring filmmakers who don't want to go into that genre, because those types of movies are guaranteed to make money, and therefore they get all of the resources and all of the attention.
I respect that point of view.
That's what the other guy was saying.
Yeah. So so that's actually cleared up a lot of stuff. So I still think the other guy's an idiot,
He's not an idiot.
but whatever his name is. Who said that?
Chris Evans and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, okay. Oh.
They were in like an interview.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think they're somewhat right, but I think they're slightly skewed in their reasoning. So the reason why superhero movies in general are such a big thing right now is because they really started with the Marvel Spider-Man movies, the original ones with Tobey Maguire.
The Sony ones?
Yeah, the Sony ones. Those movies kicked off the superhero franchise. That's what really kickstarted superhero movies. Yeah, the Batman movie, that was pretty good.
You know, the Batman movies kicked off everything.
Well, the Batman movies were...
You're going to sit here and tell me they didn't?
Was it Christian Bale that was like the late 90s, early...
No. He was like 2007, 2008.
Okay. Who was in the original? Like
a bunch of people.
The classic live action.
Like a bunch of random actors.
Early 2000s is when it really started getting kicked off, because that's when you had Spider-Man, that's when you had the Batman movies.
The Batman movies were in the 90s and like maybe 80s too. They were started by something. Let's continue. Move on.
Sure. Anyways, they really started in the Spider-Man
They did
era.
not, but
They
continue.
really did.
They really
Because let me finish. Because after that, you then had the Amazing Spider-Man, the stupid, terrible ones. I'm sorry. But at a similar time, you had the Dark Knight movies, which really kept the ball rolling. And then Disney bought Marvel in, 2012 for like $4.5 billion or something.
I have no idea.
And they really started crushing it. That's when it got crazy, because you combined a superhero, like a multi-billion-dollar franchise, Disney, with superhero movies that are already starting to be a thing. It's like a fad, like, oh, dude, Crocs are really big, and then Disney buys Crocs, and now they start, branding Crocs and everything, and everyone's like, oh, they're so cool because they're Disney and they're Crocs. It's a combo.
You're getting off on a whole tangent here. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say, when Disney picked up Marvel and they started making superhero movies, not only were those movies really well directed, they were really well acted. We don't talk about the Hulk movies. They weren't even in Disney's era, so shut up. The Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the era they're talking about. The Avengers movie up until now. Like the original event, like kind of Iron Man event.
But you
Avengers.
can't deny that they dominated the box office.
In the past 10 years, yeah. But Titanic, the number 2 most grossing film of all time.
That's not true.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-mm.
Was it top 5?
Not even, I don't think.
Oh, it is. Oh, it is at least top 5. Hold on. Top 10 grossing films. Yeah, Titanic is number 3, bro.
Not number...
Number 2 is Avatar.
That's not adjusted for inflation. That's not all time. You want to know the...
That makes your argument worse.
No.
That makes your argument much worse.
I'm just trying to clarify.
Titanic was the 90s, bro.
Yes. But what you adjust
So on
for
the dollar, it makes more money.
Then
List of highest grossing films. I'm on Wikipedia. Everybody says, oh, Wikipedia's gross. Adjusted for inflation. Titanic is number 3. Gone with the Wind is number 1.
mm-hmm. I did a project on that in my communications class.
Titanic is still up there.
Mm-hmm. What's your point? Why did you bring up Titanic?
There are still hit movies that aren't
Yes.
a sequel, not a certain genre. Titanic was just...
I know,
a
but
movie.
in the
it was a hit.
in the most recent
It was
years,
20 years ago.
In the most recent years,
Okay, you have...
5-10 years, yes, it's been mainly superhero movies and
But
the
think of-
traditional blockbuster.
You're missing...
No. What I'm trying to say, what I think what was our point in the beginning, is technology, like CGI, like the typical blockbuster, has been dominating that. Like, not, I don't want to say like classics or like cinema, but like that's the type of movies you see all the time because of technology and because of where we're going innovation wise.
I'm looking at just a list of the top grossing movies.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's Titanic, there's Avatar. But a lot of it is just franchises.
Yeah.
5 of them are Disney. No, 6. I forgot Star Wars. But think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Disney is up there. Sony's up there. Yeah. Sure, the superhero franchise has skyrocketed, but a part of that is just because there's a company, a giant company behind it, a juggernaut,
And just
behind
public
it.
interest too.
But they sell like the advertising. Think about it. If you're a giant company and you're making a high budget movie, you can hype the crap out of that. You hype it up. You spend so much money on advertising. Titanic didn't have advertising.
Yes,
Nothing I
they
know of.
did.
Did they?
Yes, Ryan.
But like what I'm saying is, I wasn't alive during the time, so I haven't even seen the movie yet. What, Frozen 2 is number 11?
Frozen 2 is like the highest grossing like animated film of all time.
Yeah, it's the Lion King. No, the Lion King is still there.
Well, no, I don't know. I just saw in the news that it's officially the top grossing.
Maybe for Pixar?
Frozen was
Oh, sorry,
Pixar.
no, it's not even Pixar. Sorry, I just assume animation is Pixar, but sorry. I don't know. Just food for thought. Yeah, a lot of it's just big companies. Capitalism, baby.
I don't think it's just that. That's definitely a part
Oh
of it.
no, it is.
But also, I think the way movies are made and what the public seems to be most interested in, and again, technology has all twisted and
Fair.
formed the movie industry.
Very
into
fair,
what
very
it's
fair.
doing today. Yeah.
Cool.
Any other thoughts?
No, I think we did everything pretty well.
I feel like we did not address the main question whatsoever. I feel like we just kind of went on a bunch
Did
of
we peak?
rants.
Well, we talked about tech.
Yeah, we did.
Talked about movies. We just talked about movies.
Uh-huh.
We talked about humans in general,
Uh-huh.
which we quickly said, hey, humans have just stayed the same, just the same crappy version of themselves.
Yes.
So I think we did this question justice. I can't even speak anymore. Yeah, I think that was very sufficient.
All right.
Perfect timing too.
Cool.
Anything else before we kill this
Nah.
one?
I think I'm good.
Cool. Again, thanks for tuning in. We've hit the 30s.
Just end it. Just end it.
Well, just
Bye.
yeah, bye.